ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode of the news, Harrison Ford joins the MCU. We'll get to that in the news, as well as the Creed 3 trailer and trailer talk. The news streaming list this week is very short. We'll get to what we're watching, and then our main review for the episode is Halloween Ends. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, by marching band Nathaniel Gingrich.
Hello, folks. I'm marching band Nathaniel.
Did you ever do band?
I did band in middle school, but quickly opted out in high school, for sure.
I see. What did you play?
Nerd.
I played the drums originally, and then they were like, "You're gonna be too good at the drums. We're gonna move you into like middle band or whatever," and that would have taken me out of PE. So I was like, "Screw it! I'm switching instruments." And the one they had left over was a clarinet, and so I learned to play the clarinet for 3 years, which in hindsight was not worth it. But
so you were too good that you're so good that you were gonna get to skip PE at school, but you wanted PE, so you switched instruments.
Yes,
makes sense. I'm right there with you. I would have switched instruments if it meant I get to keep PE. PE was fun in middle school.
That's my thoughts exactly. And then they were like, had me in PE for like 2 more semesters, and then I was like stuck playing the clarinet for another 3 years. So really, like I said, not a great shade, but
damn,
I can read music at least, so there's that.
Hey, there you go. I've lost that ability for sure. I only played for like 3 years, and I cannot read music if you ask me to. Anyway, also joining us today, it's Slashed Tire Ty, Tyler Verdalis.
Have you ever slashed someone's tire?
No, I definitely have not. Have you? You seem like I feel like the answer is yes.
Yeah, that's a definite yes
There's
for
some
Tyler.
shit going on.
That was funny.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
I for sure have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to get more context, or you want to leave it there?
Nah, we're good. If you want to know, ask me in person.
All right.
I have a fear, like,
and just to preface, it's been more than once.
Okay. I thought you said.
He's a serial tire slasher.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's how he gets off.
Say just to preface, it was like it was only once, or it was justified or something, or if it was like retaliation. He goes, "Nah, I've done it more than once." Like he's doubled down on the fact that he's
all justified.
Tires.
First of
all justified. Okay, they usually are.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's funny.
I always am afraid that like if I go to slash someone's tires, I'll be the one where like I put the knife into the thing and then the knife like pressurizes and shoots back out and like just like hits me in the head and kills me.
Final destination shit.
Yeah. Or the tire explodes or something, you know.
Yeah, I'd be too scared too. I also just I don't know. I've never had a good reason to slash someone's tires. Maybe
Go to the junkyard and practice.
Okay, yeah, that might be. Yeah, that's that might.
In the junkyard, just fucking stabbing tires.
No, I want it like he goes to one of those gyms where they flip the tires, and he's just practicing on one of those.
Just runs up.
Oh my god, just a piece of rubber at that point. You're not.
We're on to something. Which one of you has a TikTok?
It's gotta be
right.
I have a TikTok. I don't really like. I just watch TikTok.
We're posting. You're gonna dress up as like Michael Myers, and you're just gonna go around like stabbing tires.
Michael Myers
Sounds
stabbing
horrible.
tires. New channel coming soon.
Oh god! Rounding out the squadron, of course, it's big babysitter BlakeHolder.
What's going on, fellas?
Did you guys ever babysit when you guys were like teenagers?
Not in the sense of it was I don't know, for lack of a better word, like a child that I did not know, right? It was more of like
Your
one of my
friend.
mom's it's like my mom's
friend,
best friend who's basically like an aunt. You know what I mean? She had
Yeah,
children
sure.
who were younger than me. In hindsight, I mean, they're probably only a tad bit younger than you, but yeah, me kind of babysitting them like in middle school or high school type thing. Yeah, they were probably 6 or 7 years old. So
Yeah.
just little stuff like that. What about you
I
guys?
gotcha.
Yes.
Probably same here. Not a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I have anyone with younger siblings, so I feel like you automatically get into babysitting at some point. Then.
Yeah, you are stuck with them. I guess I didn't really count for that. But yeah, you do get stuck with them a lot. But they're cool. I like my little sisters. What's
I
up,
have
guys?
a sister, but
Yeah.
she was
What
like,
about you, Adam? Have you ever?
well, my
Sorry,
little
go
sister's only like 2 years younger than me, so 3 years younger than me. So it's like, who was really watching who if I was the babysitter? You know?
Sure.
Like,
Right.
like, I'm 13, she's 11. Sure, I'm in charge, but really, should I be?
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of about it. I never really took it up as like a working gig. I feel like guys babysitting or girls to babysitting is guys to like mowing lawns.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I
makes
just
sense.
mowed lawns to make money and stuff in the summers.
Are you and your
So-
sister close?
Sorta. Not like super best friends or anything like that, but
Yeah.
especially once my brothers left, it was like, oh, it's just the two of us now.
Yeah.
For
Like,
sure. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like I never really went to school with my brothers because my one brother's 4 years older than me. So it's like every time I would get to a new school, like I started 6th grade when my next oldest brother was a freshman or sophomore in high school. And then right when I was a freshman in high school, he was a freshman in college. So like we never went to school together, but my sister, I was always in school with her pretty often. So yeah, I'm pretty close with my sister.
That's
overall,
cool.
I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 1 year with Justin. He was a senior and I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
And then I didn't get any with any of my other sisters.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
my
like
oldest
preferable.
youngest sister's 6 years younger than me.
Yeah, I didn't really like going to school with my sister, if I'm being honest. Like I feel like I enjoyed. I like. I don't know. Just having family in school was weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what that dynamic would be like with the sister, but like Justin and I were all right.
Yeah, I think it would be different if it was a brother. I think having it be my little sister being in school was a little bit different for me.
Yeah.
Whereas like I preferred it where it's just me.
Sure.
Makes sense.
If it was like a little brother or an older brother, I think it would definitely be different.
Yeah.
My brother is 5 years younger than me, and we were never in school at the same time.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have a brother who's 5 years older than me, so yeah, we've never been to school together. So can't relate, Adam and Ty. I don't know what it's like to go to school with a sibling.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Well, anyway. Let's get into the news. We're gonna keep this rolling. It's a little bit late. We're a little bit tired, but we're gonna get it done anyway. In the news, 2 news stories this week. Harrison Ford joining Captain America 4.
Oh my gosh.
Pause. Pause. As General Ross, who was previously played by the late actor William Hunt. So he's not getting a new role. He's simply just taking on an existing role.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible fit.
Yeah.
It's not at all. But this, like, if I'm being honest, makes me like less excited for the new Captain America movie. Because like I love Harrison Ford, but at this point I feel like he just doesn't care. And it's just, I don't know. Every time I see him on screen, even if he is somewhat trying, like I just in the back of my mind go, oh, this guy doesn't want to be where he is right now. And
kinda
maybe
get
it's
that
just
vibe.
maybe it's just me, and maybe it's just a mental thing. But like for me, every time I see him now in a role or like a new role, like I can just tell like he doesn't want to be doing whatever it is he's doing. Like he seems so out of acting that he's kind of just doing it for I don't even know what reason. I'm sure he has plenty of money, so like that kind of confuses me. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. Like you said, this is a good fit as far as like a role goes for him. I'm happy with this for sure. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
I mean, one, it was William Hurt, not William Hunt. Sorry.
What did I say? Oh, I did say Hunt, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I knew that too, Adam.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you for letting me know.
We'll get emails,
appreciate it.
guys. For once, we'll get an email.
Like a male?
Yeah. Anyways, Thunderbolt Ross, William Hurt, Harrison Ford. Do you think they keep the mustache? Do you think they make him grow the mustache back?
Yeah,
I think it'd be
100%.
fun.
And do you think they like? Is this because they're doing the Thunderbolts basically, and that's going to spin off from the Captain America? Because I feel like General Ross at this point was someone you could have just said like, oh, he died, and no one would
Yeah.
really care or something. They
Yeah.
must have actual plans for this character that does require a recast. You know.
It is confirmed that he is supposed to play Ford in, or sorry, he's Ford. He's supposed to play Ross in Thunderbirds. Or Jesus Christ, Thunderbolts.
General
Holy
Ross
crap,
is
what's
Harrison
going on?
Ford.
Well, William Hunt in the Thunderbirds is gonna really break some
God.
records.
It's been a long day.
We did say we were tired, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. Yeah, like we say, good casting. In terms of like if it makes me more or less excited for Captain America, I kind of have Blake's reaction in that I don't really care about another Captain America, but who knows? I still stand by my Marvel quota from last week. Just tell me a week before they come out. I don't want to know anything
Yeah.
else anymore.
Yeah.
Just tell me next week we're getting Captain America 5, and I'll be sure to go out and use my A-list and tune in. But until then, I don't care. I don't want to know about it. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, I'd be more excited if I couldn't see them coming.
Right? Isn't that sad?
If you like tricked me to the point where I thought like you guys were doing me a favor versus like giving me 3 months, 6 months to in advance, and then I feel like you're just ramming it down my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good point.
I certainly agree with that. I mean, I'd be more inclined, right, to want to go see those if they kind of took that method. But yeah, I mean, long story short, will I end up seeing this movie? To be blatantly honest with you, I probably will, right?
But only for the pod.
Yeah, it'll take some forcing.
Yeah. But we'll get it. At what point, if say we're doing this podcast for 10 years, what point in that 10-year span do we stop
Do we
doing
stop doing
movies?
Marvel? Jesus Christ!
Or
Within
do
the
we
next,
ever?
I'm pushing within the next 3.
You think? Huh. I mean,
Because I mean, at that rate, imagine how many Marvel films we'd have on another 3 years.
that's
right? I mean,
yeah. Yeah. But people are going to keep seeing them. I don't think it slows down in the next 3 years. I think it's longer than that.
No, we're in it for the long haul. I mean, they've already
Yeah.
announced
I would
all the
agree.
phases and everything, you know?
Yeah.
It would take a titanic drop off in the market for them to do anything now. I mean, they've changed
which I
release
guess I don't
schedules
see that
before,
happening.
but yeah, I think it's an institution in and of itself now, you know?
Yeah.
They got a
I
whole
just
new
don't-
set of fans that are getting ready to like make the whole new rounds. Like you could easily show this stuff to like 8, 9, 10, 11, and like they're gonna have a fucking blast.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're
This
also
shit's
going to
not
have
going
that
anywhere.
young Avengers stuff.
Yeah, like have you guys watched She-Hulk yet?
No.
I
I
have.
have not.
All right. Well, so Nathaniel knows. So yeah, like there's a lot of plans for a lot of Marvel stuff still.
Okay. Well, yeah, we know that, but it's just like
No, I agree.
I also am I'm so tired of Marvel that I'm tired of saying how tired of Marvel I am, you know? Like every time it gets brought up, that's where the conversation goes, and I'm just, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought in 2008 we'd get to this point, but here we are. I guess there really is a breaking point, you know?
If you told
I'm-
yourself back
I'm-
then.
Yeah,
ahead, Nathaniel.
right?
No, I was just making a joke. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just glad to kind of see like the consensus that I've kind of like started to push on the podcast. Like, yeah, fuck Marvel. We're like 3 months ago, it was kind of like, you know what? I'm all in on Phase 4. I want to see all these movies, and like for the week by week, the more Marvel news we have, everyone's just kind of like, you know what? I don't
hate
even
my
care
life.
anymore.
Yeah. Why are we here? All right. Well, again, Captain America 4 is set for, I don't even know what is this? It doesn't say the release date. It only says the release date for Thunderbolts, so I have no idea. Indiana Jones 5, which he's somehow starring in, is due out June 3rd of next year.
Isn't he like 81?
Yeah, he's old. He's old. He's very old. And that's what I'm saying is like, if I'm him, I would just retire. Like, he clearly, like, in all the interviews, I don't know how long he's been like this in his career, or maybe he's always been like this, but in all the interviews, he just seems miserable.
No, I
like,
think he probably just doesn't want to do the press. Like, he may feel
Maybe.
like that, but like, I don't think he's ever phoned in an actual performance. Like, I don't think there's ever been a
Sure,
point where I ever felt
that's
like he
fair.
like just wasn't trying. But I think he's like of that generation that like being a star was not as restrictive as it is now, and now he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
That's valid. That's valid. All right. Well, our other news story. Pretty sad. Actually, it's Robbie Coltrane. Has passed away at 72. He played Hagrid in the Harry Potter movies.
Indeed.
He's a British
Yeah,
actor.
I did see that
Yeah.
news come across.
And so he's got a few other roles, of course, some TV roles before and after. But yeah, that kind of made the rounds on Twitter and whatnot, and a lot of people posting and stuff. And though this one is one that's like, that does really suck, because that's like a lot of my childhood. I'm sure a lot of your guys' childhood too, is like watching those Harry Potter movies and Hagrid being just a central figure, and a lot of like the comic relief almost of those films. And even the books too, like he's a beloved character. So yeah, definitely sad to see.
R.I.P. Hagrid. Yeah, this one was a
right.
bummer. I mean, it was kind of like one of those ones that you weren't really thinking about. Then when it did hit you, you were like, "Oh shit, that's that meant more to me than I thought it did."
Yeah.
But good innings, 72. You know, this is kind of gonna start happening, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be missed. You know, always seemed like a warm, funny guy, and I think he actually did like comedy as well too, or something like that.
Yeah, he did some comedy stuff, I think. But yeah, man, I do think the best quote I heard, though, it was like in an interview with him saying like, you know, these films, and this is him doing Harry Potter, he's like, these films will be around for 50 years, and you know, the kids that are watching it now are going to want to show their kids, and so, you know, you're still going to see me acting in 50 years, even though, you know, I won't be around. And he kind of makes that joke.
I did see that,
in, like,
that
one of
quote.
the special features one. And like that was just really sweet, because like I think that's true. I think, you know, he passes away you know, last Friday, but he definitely will be still looked at and remembered for a long time. And I think that's kind of all you can hope for when you pass away, is that you're still remembered. And I think he will be remembered for this role for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Rest in peace.
Well, we can move on out of that to trailer talk. I haven't had a trailer in a little bit, so we have a trailer for Creed 3. Creed, as we were talking about before pod. I think that's the official running title. Creed, yeah.
Yep.
Cathride.
Creed.
Third. I haven't seen any of the Creed movies, but this trailer still gets me going. I think looks like a good story to be told. I obviously kind of know the gist of Creed, so I think it's cool, kind of what they're building up here. How do you guys feel?
Directed by Michael B. Jordan was what I was noticing.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's new.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, he's going up against Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror, as he's known in the Marvel universe. And now not another boxer, which I think is interesting, which obviously means we'll get more like playtime with his opponent, or not playtime, acting time, whatever. FaceTime. And, you know, I think they've already kind of lent into that a little bit with the trailer and everything. Yeah, I think, you know, it's dramatic, but all the Rocky / Creed movies are. And I will say I've noticed already that, you know, he may not have the same kind of visual eye that Coogler has, I think. You know, you think like back to Creed 1 or Creed 2 with the triangles of light as he walks down the stage to the court or to the arena and everything,
Ring.
and how
Yeah.
like starts out with that. You don't really see anything like that in this one. It seems to be pretty much camera swooping around and pretty harsh bright lighting and everything like that. But I'm definitely interested. I'm really interested to see what Jonathan Majors is bringing to the role, and yeah, I'll be watching this one in theaters. The other ones are great.
Yeah, I'm with Nathaniel. Yeah, I'll definitely catch it in theaters. I caught the first two in theaters. Granted, haven't rewatched those in quite some time, to be honest with you. But from what I recall, especially with the first one being by Ryan Coogler, who's obviously gone on to do some pretty great films in the MCU, as well as the second one. I can't think of who the director of the second one is, but I think it's somebody else.
I agree.
Somebody
I
can
can't remember
fact
either.
check me on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, they're both good. I mean, the story's good, the character's good. It's got a lot of history with it, right? If you go back to the Rocky films, it'll definitely draw in a crowd once it gets put in theaters.
Creed 2 was directed by Stephen Capel Jr., who also has done really actually nothing that I've seen on his directing page on IMDb. I've really seen much of this. The Land in 2016, Class, a TV show. So
Sure.
I don't know where he came from to get Creed 2, but
All right.
yeah, if you guys think he did a good job, then
Looks
cool.
like
Yeah,
mostly
okay.
music videos as well too.
Yeah, that probably seems right.
Yeah, and it looks
Yeah.
like he's getting the new Transformers. So there's new Transformers in
That's
2023. Looks like
yeah, it
he's
seems
getting
like
that
it's
one.
Oh god,
TV show.
a
and then
shiver
Rise
has
of the
just gone
Beast.
up my spine. A new Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
I cringe inwardly.
This seems like a prime candidate for like a double ep review.
Yeah.
Like a
I'd
two
agree with you
review,
on that.
one app review. So this is coming out in March of 2023. So I guess we can see what it looks like then.
So how many? This is the third Creed. How many Rockies are there? 4?
No, I think there's 5,
not
right?
sure.
There's Rocky 1, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, and then isn't it Rocky Balboa?
Rocky 2, 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess so.
there's
Yeah.
6 if you include Rocky Balboa.
So there's up to Rocky 5 that are numbered, and then it's Rocky Balboa.
Yes.
Wow.
And then there's
What?
3 Creed movies. So now
my
I guess
God.
9 in total if you want to include Creed and
All
the
right,
Rocky
So
saga.
It's
let's
time.
do the largest collective movie review we've ever done. Do all 9 of them.
A 9-tuplet.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to start watching those today to get those done.
Yeah, right.
March.
Realistically.
Yeah.
That's like
Well, I can't really remember Rocky 1. That was 6 months ago, but from what I do remember, pretty good.
or we just
Pretty inspiring.
for like the 200th episode or something, you just have to live stream us all sitting there watching all
we're
9.
we're watching Creed 3. That'd be good. All right. I'm excited to haven't even seen the other ones. This looks good, and but I know I would enjoy them. I just haven't got around to watching them. They also don't seem to be. Where are they streaming right now? Because I don't feel like I've seen them anywhere recently on like a convenient streaming service, like where I just scroll by and see it. But yeah, it's Creed.
They
The
were on
first,
HBO Max for a while.
were they? Okay, I haven't because it hasn't been.
Yeah, you're right. I
They
do
were
remember
they were
that.
for a little bit. I definitely should have watched
I
them
wanted
then,
to
'cause
say-
right now it's on Sling TV if I don't want to rent it.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. That's a movie that should stay on HBO Max.
Just make
Oh,
that
well.
decision. Creed, you're on HBO Max.
Creed?
No discussions.
No discussion. End of discussion. All right. Well, that's it for Trailer Talk. We'll do the new to streaming list. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of things that come to the streaming services each week. This is my hand-selected list of the things that might be worth checking out. To Netflix, we're getting Descendant. This is the documentary I was talking about a month ago or so that I saw from my documentary class. The earliest screening of it, and then we got to do a Q&A and stuff with the director and whatnot. So her film is finally coming to Netflix. It's really good. I definitely recommend it. It's about a town in Mobile, Alabama, looking for the last ever slave ship that came in 1860, called the Clotilda. and it's their search for it, but also kind of just like the whole story behind it and the community and whatnot. So it is really good. So definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it if you see it on there. And I think it's kind of Netflix's choice this year for like their documentary push for the Oscars. So that's maybe get ahead of the game there. Amazon Prime isn't getting anything. Hulu is getting Annabelle Creation. Where does this land on the Annabelle scale?
I think Creation is the good one.
Is it the good one? I remember you guys saying there's a good one.
Yeah, I want to say that's the good one. That's the second one.
Okay.
And
Okay, cool.
it is actually really good. I want to say that was the David F. Sandberg, maybe?
Mm.
I can look it up. We do have Google available. What a nice creation, the internet, you know.
Are you sure?
It is, yep, David F. Sandberg.
Good. Glad I still know that one. Yeah, it's pretty scary actually.
Okay.
Good
So I
old
won't be
demon
watching.
stuff.
HBO Max isn't getting anything, and Disney Plus is getting Star Wars Andor Episode 7. How's that been going? We can do a little quick transition to what we're watching. Anyone
Ooh.
watching that?
You going on a
Ty,
segue?
I am not caught up.
Not caught up. Okay. Nathaniel, are you caught up or / watching it?
Andor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm caught up. At least I should be. If I'm
How you liking it?
remembering correctly. Yeah, it's great. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I think it's so nice to just have a show that is not tied to the Skywalker universe or anything like that, but also, it's actually shot on a stage and not on the volume, and you can just tell, and it just makes it feel so much better. And partially shot in the McLaren headquarters, apparently. We saw that on my Twitter feed this week.
Like one of the set locations?
Yeah, they like doubled one of the spaceports, I think, for like the McLaren headquarters.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. But yeah, it's a really good show. Like I said, I think if you were wanting to start with a Star Wars thing and didn't necessarily want to dive headfirst into the Skywalker saga or anything like that, this would be a really nice kind of entry point as well too. And
so Blake, you giving it a shot?
I'm trying to convince him.
Yeah. Nah, we'll see.
You don't have to get our hopes up, Blake. I know that's a no.
That was a pretty strong no there.
Did you ever watch, Blake? I remember a couple months ago you said you watched the first Star Wars. Did you ever watch more?
No, I have not, dude. I have not. And I remember telling you guys too, I actually liked the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Granted, you do have a lot of stuff spoiled right now, obviously, just from it being a 40-plus-year-old movie, 30-plus-year-old movie. But
the most
as a whole, I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. But I haven't got around to doing any of that original trilogy, or even like going back to look at the new reboots. I guess requels is the term, I guess. But yeah, I haven't gotten back to any of those.
Gotcha. Nathaniel, would you like to keep going with your?
Oh, for what we're watching? I didn't realize you had finished the new to streaming list. I apologize. Yeah. So other than Andor, I finished She-Hulk this week, which was also really good. Yeah. Tyler, did you say you finished that?
Yeah.
I liked this a lot. I don't know how the rest of the world is feeling, but I really enjoy She-Hulk overall.
Yeah.
I heard it's mixed.
Mixed of what?
I think it is going to be a very love it or hate it. I think you're going to find that with a lot of these TV shows that are going to start coming out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I think we knew that was going to come when we went through the first round. There was a lot of, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like that. And so I think it's just going to be kind of love it or hate it. But I can't tell with this one.
Really?
I had fun. I had a lot of fun towards the end.
Okay.
But sometimes in the beginning, I was like, the early episodes, I was like, man, I just don't know. But it definitely grew on me towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it, it does take a little time to get used to it and everything. I don't know. I felt like it was not connected to the universe enough for me that I
Sure.
felt like I could kind of I could watch it without any Marvel expectations, And then when
Yeah.
it did kind of bring in those things in, it was not a thing of like, oh God, here we go again. But it was like, oh yeah, that is fun and surprising and cool. Like I'm down with that. And then some of the characters at the end, I think, are just take it to that next level. And I just found myself really, really enjoying it. I hope she comes back in another series that's coming out pretty soon. Not going into like spoilers or anything like that, but I think that would be a good fit. And yeah, I really liked her as well too. Thought she was a great fit
Yeah,
for the
I think
role.
she played her really well, and it was always funny because there's times in there where she makes jokes about doing things with Daredevil,
Yeah.
and Carolee is like, ew, and I'm like, yeah, but that's who she is.
Yeah,
She actually is kind of. She really puts herself out there in the comics. She
Right.
she doesn't give a fuck. She'll do whatever she wants, and she doesn't care. So
And that's
I
also
was
how
like, that's
Daredevil
who
is.
she is.
Daredevil is a man whore.
Yeah. Well, he can be.
Yeah. No, he is. I know him personally.
Yeah.
He's a hoe. Anyways,
He's special.
Um,
You're a blind lawyer. I mean, like that's a
I'm not.
unicorn.
I'm not criticizing him. Like
I know. I'm just saying,
Godspeed. Yeah.
he has the right.
Yep, yeah. Just saying. He's got to be
I
stressed out a
think-
lot, He's got a
I
lot on his
think one
plate.
of our top listeners would be remiss if I didn't mention that Papa Schwartz is not a fan of She-Hulk. In fact,
What?
does not like it at all.
Wow.
So just
Surprising,
thought I'd bring
Papa
that up.
Schwartz.
Yeah, he's made that very well known to me
I feel
that he
betrayed.
hates that show. Well, so did he.
Fair enough. We'll get one back. We'll find something that we still like. Papa
yeah.
Schwartz.
I don't know
worry.
if he started Andor yet, but something tells me he'll like that. So
Well, maybe another thing that he would like would be Welcome to Wrexham. Has anyone else
Yeah.
watched this yet?
is that the documentary on Netflix about the football team?
No. It's
Is
a
that not?
it's a documentary on Hulu, and it's a documentary series on Hulu, but it's about
Okay.
Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds purchasing a football team, a soccer
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Yeah. A Welsh soccer
I meant
team.
football in that sense because it's English,
Yes,
trying to be cultured.
indeed. But yeah, it's they bought a team that is currently in the lowest legal bracket of professional football. And the cool thing about the sport is that if your team starts winning, you can quite literally move up the leagues. So it'd be like, a minor league baseball team here just suddenly playing the Yankees next year because they played so
Sure.
well in the minor leagues. So
Yeah.
it's definitely kind of like a weird investment for them as well too, but it was really interesting, and they're fun and charming, so I'll probably watch more of it. I think it's 23 episodes. It just came out. So, yeah, I'll let you know how we go with that. Let me go back to my list. Where were we? I watched a documentary on ESPN, 30 for 30, on Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. It was called Chuck and Tito, and it was pretty decent, I think, as all the ESPN 30 for 30s are. It's always funny to me watching what face the UFC kind of puts forward in like a professional context. For those of you who don't know, Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, I don't know if anyone doesn't know, but they were competitors in the UFC in the early days in the 185 and 205 pound divisions. And their kind of rivalry was a big storyline, and one of the big storylines when the UFC was trying to kind of transition
Break
out
out.
of this tournament style, no holds barred fighting matches to more of a sport and more of a spectator kind of regulated event. That was one of the first things that kind of sold and started bringing in crowds and really got some more mainstream play as well too. So that was pretty interesting and pretty good. It's very funny now considering Tito Ortiz ran for office in like the Huntington Beach city council or something, and then I quit like a month in because he was annoyed by it or something. And unfortunately, Chuck Liddell is probably suffering some pretty severe effects from CTE. So, yeah, that's going to start happening more and more with UFC fighters, I'm sure, soon. But anyways, the last thing I got to was actually a documentary. It was called Haunter's Art of the Scare. It's on Tubi, and it came out, I want to say, in like 2019 or so. And I think it might have been like a chiller documentary or something first, but it's about people that do haunted houses. And like there's a couple people that like have them in their front yard, and then other people that like work at like more of the big ones. And then the kind of running storyline along throughout it are these people that do the more extreme haunted houses where they like capture you and like take you into somewhere and they can touch you or, you know, like put you in a box and feed you dog shit or something like that. And like kind of how that's changing the community and also what that brings to the table and then kind of what that line is between entertainment and you're kidnapping someone. So
sounds like a Nathan Fielder bit.
Not necessarily, but it is. It was really interesting. I would recommend it. I would recommend it to you, Adam, especially since you're in that documentary class right now, and kind of see what your take is overall at the end of it, and like what, you know, obviously the filmmaker might be trying to say and that kind of thing. So,
what's it called again?
Haunters: The Art of the Scare.
Okay. I'll definitely check it out.
It's on Tubi, like I said. But other than Halloween Ends, that was it for me. So I will kick it on over to Tyler. Tell me more about what you've been watching.
Oh my God. Well, you guys know I got She-Hulk, and you pretty much know my feelings on it.
Fair.
I'm relatively mixed, but they're not. There's more good than bad. I say I'm on more of that side of the fence. So, but yeah, go watch it. We got a Ring of Power finale.
Oh, is that the finale already?
Just blew me away.
I was in a bad way.
You're bought in?
Pacing. There were some emotional parts where, you know, a tear was like welling up.
A whole tear? Man.
Got me good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really and like I got like this feeling when I was just like sitting there and I was like, I'm gonna have so much fun showing like this show to like my kids someday.
Damn.
And like that is something that has like always stuck with me for Lord of the Rings. Like it's something that no matter how old it gets, I'm gonna be able to carry it on. And like I got, even though this is obviously a lot newer, I got that like nostalgic feel about it, and I'm like, damn, this is a good show. So hyped. House of Dragons. Still cruising along. All right.
Did you watch last night's episode?
No.
Okay, then we're in the same spot. But yeah.
Yeah, I have not watched this week's episode either.
I will warn you guys. I mean, also like kind of, you know, give you a little teaser. Last night, or I guess Sunday night, I walked by my roommate's room and I just hear dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh God, he's watching the new episode. Maybe you should watch that.
Actually watching Game of Thrones.
He was watching the episode. But about 30 minutes later, I walk back out of my room, past his room, and I just hear screaming. Just so much screaming. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so then I asked him about it the next day, and he's like, yep, the episode's crazy. So I'm kind of excited to watch it. But
nice.
It seems like it's another classic Game of Thrones episode 9.
After all your talk last week about how everyone knows.
I never said they were going to disappoint on episode 9.
No, I know, but what was it? You didn't like the structure and that you felt like they were going too hard, too fast. And it was like,
I also said I still enjoyed the show. I'm not.
That's true. I remember saying like, we're not even at episode 9 yet, I guess.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
I'm once again proving I'm right, and I just want to humble brag.
Never said you were wrong,
a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to just really
said you were wrong.
I really want to just force that in there, you know.
Well, you paid a lot for that degree. You got to make it worth it, you know.
That's true. I'll never stop.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Don't worry about that. The government's got me forever.
Continue on to
The last TV show I got to, and then I got a couple of movies. But the last TV show I got to it's that time of the year where it's cold. It's a little nippy outside.
It's very nippy.
You could still have the window cracked maybe a little bit if you're like me. You wrap up in a little blanket. You put a candle on. It's like dark out. And you just got Special Victims Unit just all day.
Jesus Christ. That was not what I was expecting that to end with. That was really not where I thought that was going.
Do you just pick a random episode, or are you just like tuning into Ion where it's always on anyway? So it doesn't matter.
Well, it's on Peacock.
Okay.
All 25 seasons.
Oh, Jesus.
25 seasons.
25 seasons.
My
and we've been we like picked one place to just kind of pick in at, and then turns out that's like caught up. That's like recent. Like there's new episodes coming out like on Thursdays. So I was like, oh fuck. I was like, what? Oh my god, we're like caught up. So then I was like, we need to go back to like season 1, episode 1. So I just restarted it.
So that's, what are they, like 20 in that first series? Like 25?
The very first episode,
Yeah.
they look like I don't know what age they're actually.
Does it start
in,
with the
like,
both
the
of
TV
them?
show, but they're like late 20s, probably early 30s.
Okay. And it started with Marisha Hargitay and Chris Maloney, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Dang.
I know, wild. So, and then the 2 movies I got to, one was Hellraiser,
The new one or the old one?
the new one.
Thoughts?
Oh, okay.
Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really super meh. I thought it was gonna be really, really good. Like I had really high hopes for it,
Yeah.
and then I was just kind of like, meh.
Right? Like, I just felt like they didn't have any ideas for the human storyline. They were just like, well, let's make we got the Cenobites, we're going to make them look awesome. And if we do that, no one really cares.
Right, and they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
They looked
fucking
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the gore was great. The body horror was awesome.
Gore was awesome.
So good.
Body horror was great. New Pinhead was cool.
Yeah, fucking. I got like a real fucking like Gatekeeper Ghostbusters vibe.
Oh yeah. Goes there, there goes Arian.
Yeah. So, but yeah, other than that, it kind of fell short for me. But, and then the other movie I got to, a bit of a classic. I don't know if Adam would have seen this. I don't know if I feel like Nathaniel would have seen this, but Small Soldiers.
Ooh.
I've not
I
seen that.
actually was not allowed to see Small Soldiers by my parents.
Really?
I don't know why, and I've never actually seen it. Yeah. I don't know why I wasn't allowed to. I don't know if they like just heard it had cursing in it maybe or something, but yeah. Then
Is it a scary movie or what?
No, not at all.
no, it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, this is the same time.
It's about these.
Okay, so I just pulled it up. Yes, I've seen this movie.
Cool.
This is a movie I thought it was too, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It's these toys get made, but they get like military grade chips processors put in them, and like shit hits the fan. But phenomenal.
Yeah,
Just
it's a classic for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Major
Well said.
chip hazard. So yeah, that was a bit of a blast from the past for me that I saw on YouTube for free. So I was like,
Hey,
I
there
gotta
you
watch
go.
this. So
We do love free things.
yep. So, but other than that, that is all I got. Blake, why don't you go since you've seen Small Soldiers?
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I did not watch Small Soldiers this past calendar week, fellas. So sorry to let you down on that. But yeah, I didn't get to a ton. Hate that I did not get to the latest Hellraiser by David Bruckner. So still have not got to that. That's on my short list. I just have to make up the time. I realized every time I went to go click it, I don't know why it snuck up on me that it was 2+ hours every time. And then I'd click it and I was like, I don't want to commit to that. So Did not get to that. What I did get to is a series of Halloween movies, obviously leading
Ah.
up to Halloween Ends. So I rewatched Halloween 2018, which at this point I think I'm pretty comfortable standing on that I've seen that every Halloween since it's come out.
Sure.
So it's safe to say I like it. Without a doubt, I like it. Also, what I watched was Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween. If any of you
Okay.
have seen that, I'm sure Adam and Nathaniel, or see, I'm sure Nathaniel and Tyler have seen this. I'm sure Adam has not.
Yeah, I definitely have not.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, Ty? He might not be there.
Oh no, I don't think he is.
Sure. But yeah, nonetheless, like I said,
Gone.
that's from Rob Zombie, who at that point, that came out 2007, but at that point he's probably rattled off 3 or 4 horror movies before that, which kind of got him some steam rolling to go ahead and kind of reboot or requel, right? The term Scream 2022 coined. Honestly, it's not bad. This is one of those movies though that I do have a vivid memory of like seeing with like my friends and like 8th grade. We went to go see
Right.
this. Somebody's mom had to like take us into the theater, right? Like this is awesome. Like this is one of those movies for me. So yeah, it's kind of has a sweet spot in my heart for that. Also with that, I got to the original Halloween from 74, 79, 78.
77.
Hate that I don't know that off the top of my head. I should. But yeah, I did get back to that. John Carpenter.
78.
78. Thank you. Super classic, of course. That's one that I've seen that countless times, right? So
On
but
the
yeah,
list.
yeah, exactly. Pretty high on the list as well. Halloween
is.
2018 is on the list as well,
Yeah,
I think. But yeah, nonetheless, we did have a good time with it. We did kind of enjoy it. So yeah, that's all I got to. Like I said, I want to get to Hellraiser. There is a new VHS coming out at the end of the month, so I want to get that on record. That I'll certainly be taking a look on that. And as soon as I wanted to get that on record for Nathaniel, he popped up. So I'll have to have that conversation with him on Sunday. But yeah, that's all I've got. So then I got to Halloween Ends. I did not watch Halloween Kills. I don't like that movie at all.
You
But
didn't
yeah, that's all I
rewatch
got.
you didn't rewatch that one? Come on, man.
Kills. No, I was thinking of it, bro.
Where's the dedication?
I know. I was thinking of it, but then honestly, I saw Halloween's 2018, and I was like, all right, I definitely got to watch this. And then I saw Rob Zombie's, and I was like, okay, I would rather watch the Rob Zombie Halloween, which at that point, that's the making of Michael Myers from the beginning, right? Like that basically goes after, or it's on a different timeline of the original Halloween. To those of you who don't
Okay.
know. There's many Halloween timelines, but that's just kind of his adaptation of the character Michael Myers in general. And as strong as I felt about that, I would rather watch that adaptation than to watch Halloween Kills, which
Jesus.
probably says a lot, right? So
It does. It definitely
yeah.
does.
That's all I got. Adam, what'd you get to?
Not a whole lot. Pretty busy week this past week. And anytime I could watch something, I decided it was going to be Succession. I've been just kind of chugging along with that for the most part because it's been very, very good. Goddamn,
Told
that first season
you.
was very good. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So I think I'm almost done with season 1. I'm on episode 9, I believe. So kind of getting to the end of that. They've I'm surprised at how fast this show has moved as far as like things that I feel like could have been drawn out longer have just kind of happened in one season, and they're just moving along with it, which I like a lot. I think this kind of just you don't feel bored. Like the plot is constantly changing episode by episode, and new storylines being created and stuff. But that being said, I'm excited to see where they take the show in 2 more seasons because I feel like if they are coming up with more things, it's got to be pretty creative, and I'm sure Nathaniel, you already know, obviously. So, yeah, Nathaniel, how do you rank these seasons? Should I be excited to keep going, or is like the first one your favorite?
Man, no, it gets better. Succession definitely gets
Jesus
better.
Christ.
Yeah. I would say season 1. How many seasons are there now? 4?
3.
3? Then it's probably 2, 1, 3 maybe.
Okay.
And then 2 is pretty close behind it, but there's just
You said 2, 1, 3, but 2 is close behind what?
no, like, sorry, I'm saying, like, if I was ranking it, 3 would be at the top, 1 would be in the middle,
Okay.
2 would be the last season, but they're pretty much
I
interchangeable.
see.
But yeah, I mean, I that show, you'll get used to it quickly, but that show just is always moving crisis to crisis, and nothing
Yeah.
ever really changes, and that's kind of part of one of the threads of the show. So that these
Sure.
like normal, again, like you said, plot points that would feel like major events for most other shows and like cumulative points for their season are just like week to week bullshit for the Roystar family and everything like that. So yeah, it's definitely one that I think gets better, and you'll enjoy it quite a bit. Be prepared to just, hate everyone, but also simultaneously love every character, which is...
Oh my God, the characters in the show are incredible. Like I said it last week, but it's like so true now, even more true now that I've seen like more. It's just like they are so distinct, and it's like you can never like imagine that these characters could all come from one family, but at the same time you can't imagine them not coming from the same family. Like you see how everyone was made basically coming out of one kind of family, but like
Right.
they never seem like you'd fit them together. Like they're not similar at all, but like their differences make complete and utter sense when you kind of look at it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's got it's really well plotted.
And the best part about it too is like the people that they've added to the family as far as like spouses, girlfriends, and friends and whatnot, like are also all very, very well kind of crafted to kind of match the personalities. Tom is fucking hilarious.
Tom's one of the best characters ever.
Yeah. Tom, yeah, he really, really is. Because you just see him like he's like two different characters in one.
He's just a lunatic.
And I think
yeah,
exactly. And you only see it. You don't guess that at first when you first meet the Tom character, but then you like immediately as soon as he meets Greg in the first season, like you just know immediately, oh, this guy is actually kind of unhinged, but he just lets no one else know it besides maybe Greg.
Yep.
And it's fucking awesome. So yeah, lots of good stuff to be going on there. I'm very glad I decided to give the show a shot because it's been one people have been trying to get me on for a while, and so I can't wait to just keep grinding out the rest of the show. Do you know, Nathaniel, do you know when season 4? I'm assuming there's another season. Do you know when that's scheduled?
No, I haven't heard anything specifically on when it's going to be out or anything yet. So
okay.
I just, as far as I know, it's just under production, maybe, and
I gotcha.
We'll be coming back soon.
Sure. All right. Well, everyone went, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well then, without further ado, I do believe it is time for the review segment. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give a rundown of how the review segment works?
I suppose I could give them a rundown of our here review segment. Folks, if you are a new listener, or if you've perhaps just forgotten, the way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter is that it's split into 2 sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the IMDb page, who was in it, who wrote it, who directed it, all that good stuff. We'll see how its summary is. We'll go around the squadron, see how we feel about the movie. It's got to be a yes or no. Excuse me. We'll see if we'll recommend the movie. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, there's going to be the spoiler noise, and we're going to go into our spoiler time, which is any of the big plot twists or spoiler points in the movie. But if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, do come back at the end and listen to where we rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Halloween Ends.
I would love to. This, of course, is the ending of the new Halloween trilogy. So it's been, 4 years in the making?
Yeah, it would be.
New movie, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 51 minutes, which I believe makes it the longest of the 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think the other 2 are still around 90 minutes. But, yeah, and it has an IMDb rating of 5.0 out of 10.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cast includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy Matichak. I'm going to go... James Jude Courtney plays the Shape. I'm not really sure. Oh, okay. So he's Michael Myers. with the mask on. Gotcha. Anyway, Rowan Campbell plays Corey, and Will Patton is Frank. I think I'll leave it there. There are some other like smaller roles, but for the most part, that's kind of the main cast here, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. The IMDb summary reads as follows. The saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode comes to a spine-chilling climax in this final installment of this trilogy. Okay, that just doesn't tell me jack about the actual plot of the film. But sure, I guess you'd give a summary because IMDb refuses to. This takes place 4 years after the Halloween 2018, which time-wise and real time is 4 years, because you have Halloween 2018 was 30 years. No, it would have been 40 years after the original, and then Halloween Kills takes place on the same night. And then now it's 4 years after that night, and it's 4 years in real time after that night. Correct?
Yes.
So I'll track. So now we're back here in Haddonfield, right? That's what it's called.
Haddonfield.
Haddonfield, Illinois, local town. Is that a real town?
No.
No.
Okay, wasn't sure. Anyway, and Laurie's kind of returned to somewhat a normal life as best she can. And there is a new character, Corey, who we were introduced to at the beginning of the film. And I don't know how much there's to say without going further in spoilers. I mean, yeah, it's Halloween. I mean,
Michael Myers is still
Halloween.
out there. The town
He's
is
still
trying.
out there.
The town is trying to move on, sort of, but it seems that until Michael Myers has been put to bed and everything can kind of come to a head. There's something not right with the town. Evil is lurking around, and it just doesn't seem to be contained. So
yeah,
we're all waiting for something to happen for it to all come to a head. And yeah.
And this is that head.
This is that head.
Yeah.
Like a big pimple.
Okay. Didn't want to get that graphic, but I guess this movie is kind of graphic, so I guess we can.
They do a good job with gore.
Non-spoiler thoughts here. What'd you say?
I said they do a good job with gore.
They do. Yeah. This one was...
Yeah, I agree.
This one, Halloween Kills, I remember being rather graphic.
Oh, yeah.
Rather graphic. Some brutal kills in that one. But this one kind of stayed with that. How are we feeling, though? I'm going to kick it over to Blake first, since he loves Halloween 2018. Hates Halloween Kills.
Okay.
We're here. We've come full circle.
Yeah, we have.
Where we at? Our terror's over. We can now move on with our lives, just like Haddonfield.
Yeah. So for the listeners, right? So the original timeline of Michael Myers from 78 is now complete with Halloween Ends. So, oh man, I do like it. Right, I do. Obviously, I have gripes with it. It's not the greatest film. It's not my favorite of this requel trilogy, right, quote unquote. But I do like it. I like it more than Halloween Kills. I will say that much so far. It's really hard to kind of discuss this without spoilers, right? To be honest with you, but I mean, yeah. As a whole, I do like it, right? I mean, I think this premise works. I love this premise, right? I think this works so much better if we can put this in another film, if that makes sense. I hate that this premise is the end of the Michael Myers kind of timeline as we know it. That's my complaint, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, kind of hard to dabble without spoilers, but yeah, I'll leave my thoughts there and kind of collect them better in spoilers, but as a whole, I mean, yeah, I'd recommend it if you're already this invested in the Halloween franchise. Why would you not just go ahead and kind of finish this off? Yeah, that's what I got. Adam, Nathaniel, Ty.
Nathaniel, why don't you take it over as another person who was not thrilled with Halloween Kills?
Yeah, I love the 2018 Halloween. I think that one will like always hold a special place in my heart in like a like in my mind, you can just end that franchise right there with that one and not do the last two or anything like that.
I agree.
And I think in my head canon, I might still keep it that way. But I'm very interested in this movie. There are some big swings in this thing. I remember watching it and feeling like, because I just saw this today, so I'm still, I think, processing a little bit as well too. But this is a tortured script. And by that, I mean, like, it is, you can tell it's had 5 writers on it. And you can tell that they have worked this thing over a million times to try and get everything together. Like, there's so many threads. There's so many weird dialogue choices of people not talking how they ever would in real life or anything like that. There's so many times where it just kind of moves around and asks you to just go with characters' decisions that you have no kind of real proof of why they're making that choice or anything that's built up to that place dramatically. And yet there are times where this movie feels really fresh and smart and inventive and moves the plot and the characters forward in this universe they've created for themselves. And I think all of that is really interesting and brings up some interesting questions and some interesting ideas. But it really feels like there was a script that they had or ideas that they had, and then they were almost told to be sure you have to include this, and this, or something like that, and it just feels like they tried to cover a lot of ground in a not a lot of space. We were talked, I think, a lot at the time about how Halloween Kills felt like 2 or 3 ideas kind of stretched out and like that it just felt rushed in places. This feels like they tried to over prepare for it and make sure everything was tied up with a bow, but it just feels overstuffed, I think, by comparison. Tyler?
Fair. Listen, bro. It's not terrible. I don't know out of the newer ones if this is the one where I'm like, yeah, go watch it. But yeah, I liked a lot of the kills, which we'll get into, and story wise, plot wise, I thought it was okay. It's kind of like what Nathaniel said. You can tell that like there was just like way too many hands in the cookie jar, and sometimes it shows very, very evidently that is a thing. Because at some points I'm like, is this the same movie that I start? What movie is this? So, yeah, there's definitely some pain points for sure. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with a not recommend. There's just far too many superior movies, especially for this time of the year, that I don't think you need to go watch this.
Yeah, to put a point on mine, I guess, real quick. I'm recommend, but I was saying your mileage will vary. How much you enjoy this is going to depend on how much you can enjoy it, I guess. Like how much you allow yourself to. I don't know. I feel like this movie asks a lot of you as a viewer. And as a fan of the franchise and stuff, I'm okay with it going in that direction. But I think for most other people who would just be happier with Michael Myers is escaping and killing again, this movie does not necessarily go down that route 100%,
Sure.
For sure.
Adam, I think you're it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed myself overall. Like after Halloween Kills, which I didn't like particularly dislike. I know you guys were pretty down on it, but I was just like, it's okay. And Halloween 2018, which I do think is pretty good. This one I was just like, whatever happens, you know? And so like Nathaniel, as you said, like your mileage may vary depending on how much you let yourself enjoy this. I was just like, whatever. Like, let's just see what this is and have some fun with it. And I ended up being pleasantly surprised at how much I was just like, oh, you know what? There's some decent stuff here. I was definitely like not disappointed really. Like understand exactly what you guys are saying about the movie feels a little all over the place at points. But when it's clicking, I feel like it does enough fun stuff and it clicks pretty well. So yeah, I'm probably recommend, especially if you've seen the other two Halloween movies. I mean, if you haven't, other two of the trilogy here, because this is not a bad ending to that trilogy, I don't think, and so it's like it might be worth just watching. I think last year we talked about with the Halloween Kills review that like, hey, maybe will you wait a year and the finale of this trilogy kind of makes or redeems that movie. Definitely isn't that. This didn't really do anything to like change how at least how I felt about Halloween Kills, and based on your guys' thoughts so far, it doesn't really seem like that's the case for you guys either. So
I think Halloween Kills makes a little bit more sense in context for the overall theme they were kind of trying to go for, particularly with like the movie trilogy's very openly voiced opinion on the nature of evil and the shape it takes and that kind of thing. But it's not a strong enough theme for the way that movie was handled as a standalone movie, I would say.
Sure. Very fair. I think we're good for spoilers, are we?
Yeah. And I think this film's just much easier to spoilers too.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and head into spoilers. If you've not seen Halloween Kills and do not want to spoil it for you, go ahead, check the episode description where I have marked a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to the movie, to our ranking of the movie upon the Entropy list. Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Yeah. All right, gang. I mean, so kind of I think it was Nathaniel's point. But yeah, honestly, like I don't mind it. I really like the theme or just kind of the idea of like, is evil created by the town? Is Michael Myers naturally evil? I do kind of like that aspect, as well as the new character they pushed into us. I think is it Corey? I believe. Yep. Yeah. In terms of like kind of him wanting to be like a Michael Myers like protege. So I think like I thought that whole idea is super cool. I just don't like that as the conclusion to a trilogy. But I do like the idea of somebody being like, hey, I want to be like somebody who's kind of this enigma in our town, right? I think I can be the next him. That's something that is as dark and kind of grimy as it is. I do like that idea.
I do too.
Yeah, I just think they kind of went around it a little bit too much in this. I mean,
no, I agree. I think this.
Yeah, there's not a ton of Michael Myers in it, to be honest with you.
Right.
First two acts is mainly Corey, and then you get
this
Michael
movie
Myers at the end.
As a whole, is not very scary. There's not a lot of scares compared to previous Halloween films.
No, even like kind of the suspense and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think
there's just not a lot there on the horror end of things. Not a lot to be scared about, which isn't like I'm not like disappointed in. But it is like definitely not that scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
like I said, go ahead, Nathaniel.
I guess that part of that breaks down even for me. Like part of what makes Michael Myers scary is that we never knew anything about Michael Myers, and we saw him as a 6-year-old and he killed, and then we don't see him again until you see him there. So by like putting yourself with Corey and like ultimately kind of revealing that character arc there, I think that's kind of almost a little bit at odds with the movie's kind of history, but I still enjoyed it. I was kind of like, oh, that is an interesting way of going about it. And I guess maybe even the movie itself justifies it ultimately with like Corey can't hold up to Michael Myers, legacy or anything like that, and he does end up, taking Corey out anyways. But Yeah, this was a really weird one. I spent so much of the first half just being like, I don't know what's going on. Why are they spending so much time with this Corey kid? What is happening here? Like, what? Why is the family so strange? And like, I don't know. It also felt like the characters were just completely different for who they were in earlier movies in the series too. Like that was a little bit weird, and it almost felt like they were even kind of like out of continuity in some ways. But I still enjoyed big parts of it too. I don't know. I cut off Blake and went on a ramble. Blake, go back to what you were talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries, bro. I think I may have lost my kind of train of thought.
I'm sorry,
on
I
that,
derailed you completely.
Yeah, no worries. But I think it was kind of more the premise that, like, yeah, dude, where there, I think to your original point in non-spoilers, where like there's some huge swings in this, right? And you kind of got to ride with it. But once you ride with it, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a bad romance, like vampire, dark goth flick. Like he rides the motorcycle everywhere. Like I like that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
I was reminding me of Fear with Mark Wahlberg and like Reese Witherspoon from back in the day, and that kind of like 90s babysitter like horror that we had for a little while. I was like, oh, that's an interesting kind of direction to go with this overall. And yeah, but then like it was so melodramatic in some parts too. Like if I can't have her, no one can. Like, no, she's a person, bro.
Yeah. So I'm with you.
Like, dude, you've been dating her for a week.
Yeah,
bro.
that was definitely where I was like, man, they are asking you to really just co-sign this relationship right out of the gate, and like he's kind of creepy.
That relationship did not feel earned at all.
No, it felt way too rushed. Very weird.
Yeah, very weird.
But I mean, pat on the back.
Also, like.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry. Just
I was just gonna say, like, I just didn't get where the whole like burn this town down thing came from for what's the daughter's name? Allison. Yeah. Like that just came out of nowhere. Like I don't know.
I think that's a product of like not having refreshed on the other two going into this, because like for her character, she lost her dad the 1 year, her mom the year after that, after the town just kind of like freaked out on itself as well too, and then she's working for dickheads and all that kind of thing. So I can get why she'd be alienated from the town for sure, but yeah, there was definitely certain parts where I was like, we're going to burn the town down, and I'm going to hold the match.
I understand the alienation.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, burn it down. Like, I was like,
who talks like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No. I had it on the tip of my tongue of what I was going to say, and it was a point, and now I've lost it. So don't worry. It'll come back to me.
All right. When it comes back, let me know. One thing I did really enjoy about this movie is the aesthetic of it. I would have to rewatch Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, but like there were some points watching this movie where like I felt like I was back in that 1978 Haddonfield, but it like still felt modern. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
they just the setting, the costumes and everything, like they did a good job of making this feel like it was modern day, but like there were times where I forgot that we were not in 78. Like this wasn't like a flashback or anything. Like the costume design was great, the settings were great. Just like small details like the labels on like the cans at the gas station, stuff like that. Like I really did enjoy that, and it definitely felt like both stylistically and a little bit of the directing too kind of felt like we were back in like the classic 78 movie, which I appreciated a lot. I think that was a good homage to it. And I don't remember that being as present in the other two of the trilogy.
I thought that they were still there in some ways, but I think you're right. I think it's become slightly more pronounced as it's gone on.
Yeah, I think so too.
As well. But and I do think, this is what I liked about this movie as well too, is that as a requel, and even though it is the third in the franchise now, it has gotten to the point where you're not just rehashing the same plot points from the first one. Like I think this movie was a good distance away from the original Halloween in terms of the plot and the character, while at the same time bringing in, the original Michael Myers and Laurie Strode as well too, but not having it to just not needing it to just be the same thing of Michael's broken out and he's chasing after everyone again. Like, it really did kind of change that away while maintaining its faithfulness to that universe. And I thought that was really interesting. I felt like whenever it wasn't on Michael or Corey doing the kills and going about, or direct action between the characters, it really felt like this movie kind of grinded to a halt in some areas. As soon as he goes and steals the mask from Michael and goes on his spree, I was much more in on this movie. And then as soon as you get into the bit where Allison and him are facing off again and Laurie's trying to kill herself, that kind of thing, I feel like it just was like, here we go again. It's the Laurie and Michael show, and like we've got to go through all this kind of crap. And then it ended better, and I thought that was good too. But it just, I don't know. I'm pretty mixed overall.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on that, to the point where the highlights, as you would assume, right? The highlights of this movie like involve Michael Myers, right? And I think kind of favorite scenes and just kind of the more interesting takeaways that I got from this is just kind of how in this you can see they're taking the swing at Michael Myers being the embodiment of evil, right? Where like you actually he hasn't killed somebody. It's now been a year since he's last killed somebody. He's kind of been hiding in the sewer, and he's now like weak and weary, right? And then like once he starts killing a few people, then he's like back to like a brute force, right? So like that goes back to I can't think of the new Dr. Loomis character in this prequel's name. But that goes back to his point where he's like kind of like the more he kills, the more we think he transcends and like becomes darker. I think this is kind of like the epitome of that movie, right? Where he kills like the two gentlemen in the sewer. Then he like kind of starts like shaking. It almost like a power up, like a video game power up. Like, you know what I mean?
Like he's evolving.
Yeah, but like that was cool to see. You're like, okay, like he really does, like, for lack of a better word, like he gets off on this shit. It's like killing people.
He feeds on it.
That's where I kind of thought it was going. I basically thought that like Corey was basically gonna feed him these people and then power him back up. But then apparently he just like looks through Corey's soul through his eyes and transcends into him, which I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know he had that in his back pocket.
Right.
Right.
And then like Corey just like literally walks in there and like bitch slaps him and takes his mask, and I was like, "That's it? That's how that goes down."
That was kind of funny too. But yeah, that was so interesting to kind of see that take, and I thank you, Ty, for kind of bringing that point up where it seems like Michael Myers now has some power to he's not going to kill somebody who's already a killer, right, or a serial killer.
Right.
When he grabs you, he can see into your life.
He's Ghost Rider.
A better word.
Yeah.
Like, are you worthy? Or he then turns into Jigsaw. Like, are you worthy of being alive, or do we go ahead and kind of cut you off the face of the earth? So that was interesting to see where he goes. That he sees through Corey's eyes, right? And he sees that he's also killed somebody as a young age. Now, I don't know if that's because he's killed somebody. I don't know if that's because
no, I think that's a good reading.
Babysitter scene behind that. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's how I kind of read that. Then obviously Corey kind of reads that into Michael of like, he's like, teach me how to do these things. Like I want to become like you, right? I wanted
like a dad son montage of them like stabbing tires.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I did like that aspect though. That was. I just wish that wasn't the end of this saga, right? That as a standalone film and that idea. Granted, it in hindsight, as I'm kind of talking out loud, that's something you probably need the backstory of like somebody who's the original killer to get that movie off, right? And kind of the tone that you want to get it off in. But that premise, in my opinion, is awesome. I just hate that it's the fucking last Halloween movie.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Was there any part of this that felt particularly Halloween-y to you, or could they have just set this in a cool night in, September or anything, Like that is something that it did felt a little bit more distinct and further away from Halloween as some of the other ones haven't in the past,
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. There's a jack-o'-lantern.
There is a jack-o'-lantern. That's a good point. That is a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't have jack-o'-lanterns in September. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
That can't
I liked slowly how Corey seemed to be like gaining his killer abilities too. Like he like hops off the roof and he's like, I don't care about my body anymore.
Yeah. So like that goes in kind of like that Michael Myers
yeah, like
saying where he can like pass his genes. Like
Yeah.
the more you kill, like do you start to become immortal?
yeah, right,
Or
right.
like you know what I mean? Are you that evil where you're now immortal and kind of things of that nature? It was really interesting. I was almost waiting for like a shits and giggles, just like health regeneration.
Yeah,
like he like
sure.
falls off the thing, breaks his leg, but then like the next scene he's fine and running.
Oh,
Like,
that was actually a great point. I love that bit. And skipping around now, at the climax when I think it's Allison does just snap Michael Myers' arm on the table. Yeah, and I was like, good. That was clean break there as well too.
Yeah.
But I thought the Corey thing was pretty interesting, and at the end, and I thought it was kind of a unique storyline to go with, and I'm glad that they kind of wrapped it up how they did. But then I was also kind of happy with the Michael Myers storyline. I'm glad they finally killed him. Like they're like, no,
for sure.
This time he's dead. Like, yeah.
Thank you for kind of getting to that too. We completely skipped out. It's like Michael Myers is dead.
Yeah.
Right. For the first time, you can pretty much stand on solid proof. Like, yeah, I don't think this guy's bouncing back from that. Right. There's no camera cuts. There's nothing of that nature. And that's something we did kind of gloss over. That's a huge kind of selling point in this film is
they throw him in a meat grinder.
He's officially dead.
Or car grinder, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the hell.
Yeah, and I like that. And obviously the movie opens with that scene, right, where you kind of see that grinder, okay, something's probably going to happen with that. But I just like just the total premise of like, you know what? We've seen this guy do a lot of crazy shit. I don't like just slicing his neck and cutting his hands off.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's not
let's just
enough.
completely grind this guy like all the way to the.
Yeah,
like,
even
not
the
dead
sheriff.
enough.
Fine.
So it's like, Sheriff, this is not how we can do. He's like, we can't do it like this. He goes, not tonight.
Yeah.
Not tonight. We gotta do something. We gotta do something else.
Yeah. So I love that leap of faith it kind of gives you with the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a rational thing to do.
I do love that, except for the fact that they like to complete that, the whole town walks through the previous crime scene. Like there's just people's blood laying there on the ground, which weren't killed by Michael Myers. They were all the ones killed by Corey. And like everyone's just walking on through it, like, this doesn't matter. Like
right by their corpses.
Like just kicking evidence around and shit. Like that's gonna be a problem for those guys later.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. Can we also talk about I was gutted when Corey just stomps on that one Nora, I think her name might have been. One girl's face, who was actually like the only nice person, that little gang of shits.
Yeah,
like,
you were kind of hoping she'd make it out. You figured she would.
And then so he kills everyone else. And then I'm like, oh, he's gonna spare her, please. And then just fucking boot to the face. Oh god,
and that's a callback to that's another double back to kind of how he's able to get Michael's powers wearing the mask.
Yep.
So you don't know if it's wearing the mask or just the amount of times he's killing. You assume it's some sort of combination. But Michael Myers actually kills one of the police officers like that in Halloween 2018.
Yes, he does.
Where the police officer kind of get pulled over, and then like you're just able to see the sheer strength of him. So I think that kind of does give you enough information between that. When Corey kind of jumps off the roof of the building, that there are some supernatural powers with that mask and killing, right? Where you do kind of get some of these superhuman abilities, right? That you can sustain certain damages. You have super strength. You're for lack of a better word, right? You're no longer mortal. So,
yeah,
it's kind of cool. They take that leap to pretty much stand on that.
Yeah. Favorite scare or scene?
I'm just a really big fan of all the kills. I think they did a really good job at showing like a good amount of what people can either handle or really want to see, and I think they were all just graphic enough to where I had a lot of fun with them. I did get Leah to watch this.
Whoa. Way to
Yep.
drop that one on us late in the episode.
Yeah, surprise. And She didn't really care for it, in case you guys were wondering.
Shocking.
Or could have
Shocked.
guessed. But yeah, she was also like, it wasn't even scary, it was just gory. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So, but yeah, I liked all the kills. I had a lot of fun with the kills. Other than that, I don't care.
Now, I have never felt personally like I could take Michael Myers. But if that motherfucker Corey came up to me,
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, man.
Scrawny ass,
I just-
nerdy looking bitch, Corey.
He's got a big chin. I reckon I could spin
Yeah,
it. He couldn't catch these hands.
Made of glass.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I also think he should have been. I don't know, like that. I guess that's part of me, like, and maybe this is just like fan wish fulfillment or something like that. But part of me like also wishes that there was more of a distinction of that, like Corey wasn't good enough to become the next Michael Myers. You know, if you're gonna like build up this kind of
Sure.
mythos of like him passing on the killer thing, while I do think it's interesting that like the kind of element of like Corey kind of knows what he is and he's trying to hide some of that from Laurie and like that kind of bad boyfriend angle. That was interesting. I wish that, you know, in kind of the resolution there might have been more of a like thing of, you know, there will not be another Michael Myers, that you can't actually pass it on, and that this dude's kind of failed at that kind of thing. But because then I think too this movie does a good job of closing the loop. If the theme overall is like, you know, Michael is this conduit of evil and how evil changes when it, you know, it doesn't have something to focus on, when there isn't a Michael Myers around, it becomes, you know, present in the community or present in the way that we do business or something like that. And this idea that the kind of trying to make a new bogeyman so we have something to pin it on is still wrapped up well with the final Michael Myers death, that I think they could have, you know, exposed Corey as a bit more of the bitch he is. But and
Yeah, he really
had
is a bitch.
pat on the back to this movie for just killing a kid 4 minutes straight into it, and just
Yeah,
Yeah,
down
dude, that was
for sure.
Yeah.
three flights
brutal.
of stairs. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, they like showed his face like getting indented
Oh,
by the
yeah.
door handle, and I'm like, oh fuck.
I genuinely was just like, oh shit. Like I said it out loud.
Yeah. Me too. I think I was like, oh my god. Yeah, you just don't expect it to start off like that. You know, because that I was gonna say my favorite scare is probably that, where you're kind of like scared by the fact that they show his face getting imploded by the door handle, but
Yeah,
then
true.
then they cut to the parents and you're still really not expecting much, and you think that's gonna end there, and then you just see the body fall, and then it's just like, holy shit. So yeah, that was definitely a brutal one. My favorite shot, though, and maybe favorite scene, is when they're at the doctor's house, and Deb like walks out of the patio door, and then you see him just getting
they were banging.
stabbed. Oh sure, but you see the doctor just getting stabbed over and over again in the darkness of the background, and then she turns on the light. And sees him. Then I like that shot where he's just getting stabbed over and over in the back, and you kind of just see it happening and know what's about to go down.
I thought similar. I actually really like the radio guy and the tongue on the final
Yeah, the tongue's
player.
a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Dude, brutal.
That was fucked. And then everyone else hearing the song skipping as well too
Yeah.
on the radio. Yeah, that was I like that one. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I had Leah close her eyes for that one, and I did not tell her that he cut his tongue off with a pair of scissors.
Which he pulled the scissors from nowhere, and those are like, you know, just some shears that he's just got hanging out around there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I kind of like all three of your guys' favorite scenes once. And Nathaniel's point, yeah, the radio one was really see him just. That was just a funny thing that you probably don't see Michael Myers do, but you see Corey doing, if that makes sense. Even though he is Michael Myers, right? Like he kills the guy and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to cut his tongue off and put it on the record player. So
yeah, Michael Myers
that was
is
cool.
never that humorous, right?
No, not
Straight to
at
the point.
all. That's like a Freddy Krueger.
That's
type
much
thing.
more a Freddy thing, yeah.
Yeah, mine would probably have to be maybe at Laurie's house, right, where she's kind of battling with Corey, and then she takes him down. Then you kind of see it looks like she's being framed, right? With kind of how he kind of spun that. And then Michael comes in kind of a few scenes later. Then he walks past Corey. Then Corey grabs something. You're like, oh my God, okay, Corey may be immortal, right? Considering he stabbed himself in the neck, right? So like it's kind of confirming all those Michael Myers things of immortality and things of that nature and transcending above evil. And then Michael Myers like just puts a complete end to that shit. Like, all right, enough of this guy, and just fucking snaps his neck. Yeah. Like that's a scene I kind of liked where he's like, all right, I'm tired of looking at Corey, right? I don't know if this guy's just gonna keep popping up in and out, and Michael kind of puts a complete end to that shit. So that was cool to see. But yeah, that's all I got. And want to put her on the list, fellas?
Let's do it. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and put Halloween Ends up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
What are we thinking?
Let me pull the list up. I didn't want to cheat and look beforehand. I figured.
By the way, where did everyone watch this? Did we all go Peacock? Did we all go?
I did go Peacock.
I did theater.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was the overall mood like in the theater?
I did theater on a Friday night, so it was pretty good crowd in there, to be honest with you. And it wasn't the greatest crowd, but I guess probably because it's not the greatest film, right? But as a whole, I mean, there was a ton of kind of like you heard a few gasps, right? Especially with the kid kind of falling down at the beginning. Definitely one that everyone in theaters kind of like it's like one of those. As well as kind of a few, like when they finally killed Michael Myers, you kind of got a few kind of like claps and things of that nature. Like, okay, they finally like did it the right way. So, yeah, it was interesting.
I
got my spot.
Oh, okay.
Let it rip.
What were you gonna say, Nathaniel?
I was just gonna ask Tyler where he saw it, if he did Peacock or not.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned that it was on Peacock.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I was searching for my spot.
I'm going with 94.
Whoa!
Quiet Place Part 2 above Uncharted. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's okay, but like I don't know. It just doesn't do enough for me. Where like I immediately went to Halloween Kills. I'm like, it's above this. By how much? And then I look at A Quiet Place Part 2, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, all these movies up there. I'm like, I just really enjoy those movies. And A Quiet Place Part 2 is sunk way lower than I feel like it should be. Like, it wasn't close to the first one, but like it was still solid. Like, it was still really good, especially for horror. And I look at Uncharted, I'm like, yeah, I can put this above that. So, 94 for me.
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna be slightly lower, and I feel like Halloween Kills and this are pretty interchangeable. I'd have to watch Halloween Kills again, and I'm not going to. But I'd have to see what kills were better. But since this one's more recent, I have a feeling that this one's probably a little bit better on the kill and gore part. So I'm gonna put this at 99. There's no way this gets above Trick or Treat, and I like Don't Worry Darling better than I like this and Halloween Kills. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, I knew the Trick or Treat was gonna cap you guys.
Fuck yeah.
Get fucked.
Trick or Treat really is doing
once
it,
you
man.
first. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
No, I was just saying Trick or Treat is really tripping me up too. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say once Adam kind of shouted out 90, then I went down there and scrolled. Then I was like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good pretty good ranking. So I think I'm close to that. Honestly, it's tough because I do like Trick or Treat, and I do have a soft spot for Godzilla King of Monsters. Monsters, excuse me.
King of Mansters
So,
and Monsters.
I don't know. I like Mansters more.
Yeah.
Makes it
And
sound
then
more fun.
I don't know, that's tough. But then I also see like the Matrix at 87, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so it's tough. I think I like bodies more than this. I think I like honestly, I like this more than Candyman. So I'm gonna go ahead and go 87. And I like this more than
Wow.
Matrix. Tough for the
Yeah.
above the Godzilla versus or Godzilla
No,
King of
I looked at
Monsters as well as Trick or
Candyman
Treat,
too.
but I would watch it if
Candyman.
sitting at home on a wanted to put a horror film on. I'm putting this on before I put on Candyman.
I agree. Candyman was the one where I was like, I do like this more. But you know, I just A Quiet Place Part 2 was my kind of hard cap. I do think that film has sunk way too far. Because it's not that bad. It's just not the first
I
one.
agree.
You know, it's just yeah. So, have we all gone? You said 90, or what did you say, Blake?
87.
87. Nathaniel, have you gone?
I have not. Man.
This is actually a really tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to put this above Uncharted because Uncharted I think was crap and unmemorable.
Yeah.
But I can't put this above Trick or Treat. So I'm going to put it at 98.
You stuck. 98.
Yeah.
Above Don't Worry Darling, below Trick or Treat.
So we have two 98s, a 94. What else? And then 87.
I think Tyler was technically a 99 because he was below Don't Worry Darling. Oh, as we pause for station identification, you're listening to Smooth Jazz 99.9. KYOT, the Coyote. I was
Gives
saying
us an average rating of 94.25, meaning we'll have to tie break it with Uncharted. Now, I will, of course, say, do we want to just tie break it ourselves above or below Uncharted?
put this above Uncharted.
Yeah, please. Because, spoiler alert, the tiebreak would put this below Uncharted, and I really don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I'll ever watch Uncharted ever.
Yeah. I'd rather watch Candyman, so. All right, well, then we'll lock in Halloween Ends for a 94 slot point. I called it, you know.
Way to go.
Wow. There you have it. Halloween Ends slotted at 94 up upon the Entropy list. We'll have to check in next week. Oh, what is next week's review? I think I know what it is. Yeah.
It's a little film.
It is Black Adam.
Boo. Tomato.
Do we want to just cancel that? Or do we want to?
I've already got tickets, unfortunately, so.
All right. Well, then we'll go see it. We'll go see it. Not really in theme with the Halloween.
Yeah, I was like, no American Psycho? That fits so well right now, fellas.
Do we want to get that in?
I almost rewatched that this week, but then I was hoping like
we can do a double episode next week. We can try if you guys want. I'm not too busy next week.
You guys know me. I will always err on the side of new, but.
Well,
yeah, I feel it.
All right, we'll discuss. At least Black Adam. Potentially, we'll do American Psycho to make up for the lost week that we had earlier this month or whatever it was. So yeah, Black Adam is in theaters this Friday, I believe.
Yes.
Go see it. I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, we'll go see that. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review?
We do have a 5-star review. Would you like to hear it now?
I would love to hear it.
Well, you're going to have to stall for a second because my podcast app closed. So give me a
Not
one
easy.
second. Tyler, Phil.
Do you like
What do you guys wanna
Philadelphia cream cheese or
What do you guys want to know?
like do you do cream cheese and bagels?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Cream cheese
I've
wasn't
tried
something that I got into until probably my late teens.
Okay. That's late.
But then dude, if there's bagels in my house, I have to have cream cheese. If there's cream
Bagels?
cheese, then I have to have bagels.
Yeah. Yeah, those they go hand in hand. I mean, besides like fun cakes, I don't know another purpose for cream cheese. You know, like I feel like cream cheese goes in a lot of like
bro,
baking stuff. What else do you put cream cheese on besides bagels?
mashed potatoes.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
bro.
that sounds both unhealthy and delicious.
Oh my
So
god,
you got to
that's
know
all it's
the
for,
best.
bro.
Cream
I use cream cheese in my buffalo chicken dip,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, it does go in quite a bit of baking things as well, as far as like.
Okay. I don't cook, so
Um,
like I could be very wrong. Cream cheese could go in a lot of things. It seems
oh,
like you're
dude,
proving to me right now.
it's so useful.
Okay. Okay.
You
Noted.
can use cream cheese to like thicken up like a good sauce,
Okay.
bro. It's just.
It seems pretty versatile now that you're
Yeah, and I think like one of my favorite things like from Panera is like my only thing from Panera because I don't really like them is like the cinnamon toast crunch like bagel with the hazelnut cream cheese.
Okay.
Bro, it just
Okay.
smacks.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we got our podcast review here.
There you
Thank
go.
you for filling. This is from Adam Huntsum, who says, "Best podcast ever, 5 stars. This podcast blessed my ears with what I needed to get through the day. New favorite podcast. Thank you, Adam."
Wow.
Yes. So
We're so glad to help you get
Adam
here.
too.
Adam too. Yes.
Adam too. Yes, we do
rack
have
him
Adam
up.
too. Labeled.
But if you do want to hear your 5-star review read out on the podcast, you just got to leave it in app on Apple Podcasts. That does help us out, helps us grow. And you can say whatever thing you want. You can be mean, you can be nice, you can be funny. Just don't be evil. And we will read it out for you just like I did for Adam there. So thank you.
Thank you. We do not have an email, but if you'd like to email us, you can do that as well. You can email us at backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. Also, make sure you share the show. Share it with a friend, a family member, a serial killer, or an aspiring serial killer. Any one of those works. If you can't share the show, which you can follow the show. That helps too. Follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube is just Back Row Banter. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Yes, sir. Letterboxd, I'll be on there to log some things out of 5 stars, leaving reviews every once in a while. I think the last thing I left a review on was Alien, I want to say. So I'll be on there. Instagram, PlayStation, Xbox, Mr. Water Cooler. Feel free to add me on there. We can play Mortal Kombat, whatever you want to do. Yeah, that's about it. Popcorn. Let's go back to Adam today.
Oh, wow. You can find me on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Aish, which I've been streaming more of, playing Halo. Who guessed it? You did. Kind of in an off season right now, a little bit, at least for the amateur players. The World's competition's this weekend. That's only the top 24 teams in the world. So unfortunately, didn't get it this year. We'll be there next year, but so that's going on this weekend, and then after, we really don't have like an idea of when this next season of competition starts. Probably sometime January, February would be the first open event. And I'm hoping they announce that at the Worlds this weekend. That's kind of what we're expecting. Anyway, in between things right now on the Halo front, so we will be waiting until there are things to be looking forward to. But I'm still playing, still streaming, looking for a new team. The grind never stops, Anyway, Tyler.
Twitch.tv/Ultrabajo87. We have fun there. And
So you playing Overwatch, yeah?
I have been, yeah. Yeah, I had a buddy suggest Overwatch to me, and I've known him for a long time, and I haven't had a chance to like talk to him outside of like Snapchat every now and then. So I was like, bet
Sure.
we could throw down, and I've actually been playing it a lot. I've been having a lot of fun. So
It's a good game, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's like the same exact game as Overwatch 1. I don't even know if you played Overwatch 1, but it's same maps.
Literally same
mostly the
game,
same
yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the same game. They kind of just relaunched it.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to play it again. and get back into it. And I feel like 5v5, which they used to be 6v6, now it's 5v5. It's so much better. I just feel like I have so much more of an impact on the game than a 6v6. I like it a lot more. So it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been playing Soldier, and people have been giving me shit because like I guess it's like the easiest character, which I get.
It is.
But I'm new to the game, so
yeah,
kiss my ass.
It's fun.
And
It's
my
fun.
buddy told me it doesn't matter what DPS you play, if you put up like 10K for 10 minutes, he's like that's like top tier shit. That's good shit.
Yeah, you're doing work.
And I've been sitting right around like I think my average right now is 9,500. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's good.
Dope.
So, but other than that, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter are all Tyler Vidalis, VID, ALES, Nathaniel.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Dennis Gingrich. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. You can always find my other podcast, the Sandpiper Tapes, on wherever you get your podcast. And that's it. What else? Is anyone else gone? Or is there anyone else left?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Cool. Well, join us next week for our review of Black Adam. Thank you all for listening to episode 122. Feels like we just did episode 100 like yesterday. But here we are at 122. We're going to go ahead and head on out of here. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate anything you can do to help us grow, whether it's word of mouth or just, hanging out and being here with us. We appreciate it. And other than that, just tell somebody you love them, and we'll BRB.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support as always. We wouldn't be able to podcast without you. That's all I got. Watch some more horror movies for me. October's still rolling. We'll BRB.
America, ready for another lesson.
Daniel, you been watching any playoff baseball? Or Blake too, I guess.
I watched a little bit last week. Nathaniel actually shot me a text. I think it might have been Saturday, maybe. But I ended up watching the Bama game. But yeah, I watched a little bit. I watched the Dodgers play the Padres on Friday.
Yep.
Watched a decent amount of that.
I have mostly just been watching like highlights or clips and that kind of thing. I haven't really been able to, or when it's on at work. So I think I saw some of the Padres-Dodgers game and a little bit of a Cleveland-New York game as well too. But neither ones I was majorly interested in. Waz has money on the Yankees to go to the World Series when they were like plus 600 though, or something like that, or 1600. So
that's pretty good.
He should, he's hoping for them.
Okay, that's not bad. Who are they? Who's left? So I know the Padres advanced on like Sunday.
Padres
right?
advanced. They're playing right now against the Phillies.
That makes sense. I saw a ton of people in Phillies jerseys at the Philadelphia airport.
There you go.
I just flew in from. And I seen a ton of people in that and Eagles gear, as obviously the Eagles are good. So like they're on a sports high right now, bro. Just
yeah, Phillies riding it. Oh shit! Speaking of the Phillies, they just homered. Bryce Harper. Oh God.
He's good at baseball.
What'd you say?
Said he's good at baseball.
He is. He's all right at baseball. I mean, he's okay. Where was I going with this? Yeah. The Yankees just beat the Guardians today in Game 5 of their series, so they have advanced to the ALCS against the Astros. That will be either tomorrow or the day after, I think. And then let's see. I think that's that's it. It's 4 teams left. Been pretty entertaining postseason.
Who do you got between Yankees Astros?
I think the Astros, the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah, the Astros just like look insanely good and like have like a lot of good young talent mixed with a lot of good veterans and whatnot. The Yankees, to me, like second half of the season was very shaky, and even in the first part of this series against the Guardians, like didn't look like a dominant team, whereas like the Astros all season, even in the postseason, have just looked incredible. And I think that they take it potentially in 4, honestly, but probably in 5. Yeah, I think the Astros are almost surefire bets on that one. But who knows? The Yankees obviously still have Aaron Judge and a very good pitching staff that can put it together.
Padres.
The Astros look really good.
Padres, Dodgers.
You mean Phillies?
Or yeah, Phillies. I mean, sorry, the 2 Ps.
Yeah, that one's tough because the Phillies like on paper have looked really good, and then first half of the season couldn't put together, and then they had injuries and whatnot with Bryce Harper and stuff. But like second half of the season have been one of the best teams in baseball, and they've really put together here. So it's hard to say. I really want the Padres to win, but I think it'll be close because both teams are really good. I don't know if anyone's going to beat the Astros at this point. I really do think they're got a good chance, but I do like the Padres a lot. I think their offense is really good, and their pitching is very good as well. Their starting rotation's probably the most well-rounded of anyone left, if I did say.
It's obscene.
Yeah.
So, but then again, the Dodgers is insane too.
The Dodgers are out.
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, it's hard to remember the Dodgers are out because they were so fucking good.
Well, it's like that with the Braves too. I keep thinking they're in there as well.
Yeah.
Well, the
a lot
Braves
of people are
won-
saying
Braves won the chip last year, right?
Yeah.
they did. Yes.
Who did they beat? The Astros?
Yes. I want to say yes.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
Yeah. That
So the
sounds right.
Astros have been in the chip. I mean, that's got to be what, probably
4
4
out
of the
of
last
the last
6
6
years or something like
years.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
And they've been to the ALCS 6 years in a row.
Is that
pretty fucking
basically
impressive.
the semifinals?
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what's going on right now. So that's pretty damn impressive.
No, it is for sure. Cheating or
But they've
not.
only won it
shit's
once.
hard.
And they cheated, so like
Right.
screw them, you know.
Cheating motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be awesome if Padres or Phillies to win, because I don't like the Yankees or the Astros at all. So
So how many teams are left? There's 4 teams left now, right?
4 teams left.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Padres playing the Phillies.
Yep.
And then Yankees are playing the Indians.
Astros.
Astros.
Guardians.
Astros.
They just beat the Guardians today.
Oh, okay. They were playing.
Yeah,
it
they
Monday
played
night
to
they were
like
playing
that
something
game.
like
They-
Yeah,
yeah, I think
their
they
game
finished
5
today.
just ended like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Yankees won.
Speaking of
they
coming
made.
out today, anyone see the Creed 3 trailer?
I
Did not see the trailer,
I
but I
saw
saw
that
the
it came
promo of it
out.
come across my Instagram.
Do we want to put that in trailer talk? I've not looked
I
at
mean,
it.
yeah, I think that might be a good one to even get one of those on the pod, right? So
Okay.
I don't know if we have any boxing movies on here.
We do not yet, no.